What's happening, everybody? It's your man Dame DNYDC, and tonight I'm joined by Big Tex, my man Big A. Man, Sam, what's good, bro?
Howdy, y'all.
Listen,
Just
man,
want to say what's going on to everyone out there.
and for those who don't know, man, I got a feeling it's going to be a running theme for a minute. I think he's going to be visiting us for a couple of weeks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and check out last week Tuesday, man. We had a blast, good conversation. Um, and we back again Tuesday doing what we do. So as you all come in, drop us a note, let us know where you are, where you're from, rep your squad. We thank you for being here and for joining us. And it's been a slow week, really, like in the news, if you will. I mean,
Right,
obviously with Diddy kind of, I guess, consuming all of the media
right.
airway. But we did talk about last week the loss of Tito Jackson, and
Hmm.
you know, may he rest in peace. But we did have a news blurb or flop or flip. I don't know what happened with another Jackson family member.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
and I don't know if this is out of control or because she's supposed to be in control, but it was a little flop, I guess, with her making a statement about, the vice president, Kamala Harris, running about her not being black. She's
Right.
Indian. And then she made another statement about, well, then her mother or father or something like that is white, so she doesn't really know. And I was just like, you know, um, behind the scenes, then they said it was Randy, the older brother, I guess, who now is her manager, was the one that
Hmm.
kind of helped walk her through the statement. And I'm like, does anybody read anymore? Like,
Yeah.
does anybody take information from someone and go do their own research without like kind of opening their mouth? And I mean, they tried to put a spin on it, but I'm curious, like, what is your take on that? Because I mean, I know I would have had to read it if you told me so. And we do that a lot of times in chat. We say something, and then we kind of hit each other with the links and different things to go read about it. But what's your
Yeah.
take on
You know what? I don't even have a take on this one. It was just a bizarre, like if I'm keeping in 100, like it
it?
was just like a bizarre article. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And to be honest, like when I first took a look at it, I was kind of reading it like in Trump voice. You know what I'm saying? When he was on that forum and he was like, Kamala Harris, 1 minute she's saying she's not black, but now all of a sudden she's saying that she's black. Like I was imagining like that type of outlook of it, but it's I don't know, it's tough because it's like, are you I think you said it, like, are you really that oblivious to like what's going on?
Right.
Are you that rich that you can't keep up with current affairs and it
There you
becomes
go.
like non-existent to you? So like I
Yeah.
don't care. Like it's just like, all right, but whatever stuff. I'm just being honest, like,
Hey,
her are we doing it just for clicks,
and seeing that
likes,
part,
that
that part,
shock factor? Is that the
right?
reason why we're bringing it up? So I mean, the storm is going to pass, and we ain't going to be talking about this no more.
Yeah.
And if Janet decide to come out with some music within the next 1 to 3 years, this is going to resonate with it, and them
Yeah.
sales ain't going to be selling. So well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just keeping in a buck right there. We'll see what happens.
I felt the same way. 'Cause at first, when I read it, I didn't go to the Trump voice, but it felt very Trump-ish, of
Yeah,
a statement. And like I said, reading further, I was like, okay, so this is coming from your brother, and I get it. He's supposed to be your manager, but you don't even take the time yourself to kind of dig in before you even make the statement. Like, and I wonder, like in her mind, like was one of those like in her mind, like saying, "Don't you do it, don't you do
yeah,
it," but you still went on ahead and did it. Like I said, I don't even want to say the fallout of repercussion because I mean, look, she's still Janet Jackson. I give her that, but I agree
yeah,
with you. If she was to come out with an album, I have a feeling this would be one of the front running things or themes that will come
yeah,
up. So it might make it a little hard, but look, I mean, she's still, Janet Jackson, but I was a head scratcher, for me with that one.
hmm,
So we'll see how it
exactly.
plays out. I mean, we're getting into the heat of the election, so maybe this will just be a little blip in the radar, and we'll never hear anything about it.
Nah,
And
I don't think it's gonna carry that much traction.
yeah,
So
yeah. But I mean, like I said, there wasn't much to really find in the news. Like I said, with Diddy,
yeah.
just kind of holding everything down.
Well, I think we got. I'm gonna ask you a question
Yeah,
because me and the missus we were talking about this. Just thinking about everything that's going on with Diddy and everything, right?
yeah.
And maybe the folks out there, in the comment section could chime in on this too. Do you think about the history and legacy Bad Boy had and everything?
Yeah.
And pending on what happens, whatever the outcome of the verdict is, or
Right.
whatever we find out through whatever gets released, how does that affect the
Whew,
legacy that Bad Boy Records have had on
man,
us for the past
man.
26, 27 years? Like, how much does that impact? Like,
Ooh.
do we now take away from, like, if I want to bump 112, it's just like, I don't know if I want to do
So,
it now.
that's a great question because I've had that conversation, and
Yeah,
I have to be honest. Like this takes me back to like R. Kelly, like in a
right.
sense. I I can't say, and this is just me being honest. Like even when it comes to R. Kelly,
Yeah.
I was never a fan. Like most, I respected him
Mhm.
as an artist and as a genius because I mean he created some great music and
Yeah.
he really. But I was always like behind the scenes, like and I think me and we probably talked about it a couple times. I'm like, how does not anybody know what this man is saying? Like he's the Pied Piper. Like, do you know what the Pied Piper means? And
Mhm.
just the type of women that he was with. I was like, he's kind of old to be with like Aaliyah and a lot of the women that he was with. So it never felt right to me
Yeah.
from that standpoint. But if I take that away, and I was one of those people, and I did kind of
Mhm.
put a ban on R. Kelly. Like I really don't listen to any R. Kelly music. Um, Now again, that's my personal preference. Same
Yeah.
thing with Diddy. Like so, he wasn't really an artist. He was the take that guy. Like and he's the dancer, right? But he was the
Yeah.
visionary, if you will, behind Bad Boy. And like you just said, like in my mind, part of me is like, I don't know if I could put on a 112 song anymore. I don't know if I could feel comfortable getting down with a Mace or a Diddy song. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
that his hand, he's had that stamp on it,
In some
and
shape or form.
in some shape or form.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Part of me is like, yeah, I'm gonna have to archive that whole because I grew up, coming from New York, like that was my whole thing. That Bad
Yeah.
Boy, and so I think part of me, I'm gonna have to archive that. I can't feel comfortable knowing what take that probably meant.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
You
again, this
you
is
look
all
at it
alleged.
now, it's like, whoa. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right. It's all alleged still,
Yeah. Like,
but it's
pause on
like,
several levels.
bruh, on a whole lot on his catalog, like
Yeah.
just a whole lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm in that headspace, and I think that's a great question. And if you're joining, I see a couple of people in the woods. We're talking about Diddy and the potential fallout of Bad Boy Records, and yeah, Cliff, I'm with you, man. It's
It's tough though,
hard,
man.
hard.
Like I'm gonna piggyback on you, Dame. Like, I ain't gonna lie. And there's a lot of people that could tell you, like, when I was growing up and I got into the music and when I got on the music scene,
Hmm.
like, I looked up to R. Kelly. Like,
Right.
I remember going to his 12 play concert in Austin, and I had on like the whole leather fit running
Right.
through, running through the downtown mall, and people were like, I had the ball head and everything, the Loke song and all that jazz. So like, but like you said, like in the weeds, you kind of knew, and then
Right.
as like things progress, it's like, all right, this my man's is like mad grimy. So, there's no R. Kelly, there's no 12 play, there's no TP2.com, there's
None of
like
that.
nothing. It becomes
Right.
non-existent. And this is falling through that same scenario because you're thinking about one way or another, somebody was impacted.
Yep.
Who was influenced? Who else was, in these alleged parties or freak
Right.
offs or like, and it was like a grooming stage. So who else
Yep.
was affected by that? So I can't, me in good conscience, regardless of the music and the history behind it. And it, like, I know people say, uh, take the music or take the music away from the person, but it's kind of together because you're telling on yourself in the doggone music.
Exactly.
It's your doggone confessions. So
Exactly.
like I can't do it. So
yeah,
I'm done ski.
Yeah,
If everything happens. So I might as well enjoy my 112 in total and faith and
get it in now because it's gonna be on the shelf.
get it
I
in
just
now.
got
Yeah.
OD on
Go
it
to
while
get
you get
benched.
it. Basically, that's what's coming.
Take it off your playlist.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard, man. I might have to do it in the closet, I guess. No, I know that didn't sound right. That didn't sound right. No. No R. Kelly and no Diddy in the closet. Yeah. But well, as we move forward, getting back to sports, you have brought up. We talked about it briefly last week. Amazing game and really, turnaround, if you will. Exactly, Cliff. Yeah, it was all wrong, bro. I'm gonna have to clean that one up. But we talked about the Panthers last week, and then this week, the Red Rocket returns and Carolina with a win. And the funny thing, he's the only player in the NFL this season with 300 passing yards and 300 passing yards and 3 TDs in the game. And that was the early stage. I think somebody had 303 later on in the afternoon. But at the point, we're talking about Carolina Panthers. And is that the long-term fix? Well, I mean, for this season, the long-term fix for this season, like, do we see Bryce again? This season, one in a Carolina uniform, and if he gets traded, is he a starter somewhere else?
Carolina uniform, I'm soft. Yes, that he'll still be a Panther. I don't know because I think the office is now taking offers. So like who knows, come like week 6, when those trades hit, if he's going to be somewhere else. I guess the bigger question is going to be what teams at that point are still going to be on the struggle bus that they need to bring somebody up there, on the squad and everything. So I'm a soft no that he's not going to be traded. Cliff, you are right. And that's what I was about to say earlier. Nothing in my cards had Andy Dalton thrown for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns at all. So it's weird because it's like, do you question the system now? Or, I mean, you go from questioning the system to questioning the individual.
Yeah, you know and that's what I'm saying? I'm looking at now. I don't want to say there was a lot of hype behind, Young coming in, but I just didn't think he was that good to begin with. So now are we looking at, okay, we flubbed that one. And how do you really recover now? Okay, Andy Dalton, I mean, he's 35. He's like my age, man. And I mean, he's making things happen, but where do you go? I mean, are we back to the draft board? Are we out here looking for picks? Are we bringing Tannehill in? Are we bringing, what are we really looking at?
Shoot, Tannehill might be older than Andy Dalton. I don't know if you want to do that one. I've been clowning Tannehill for a minute now. Let me stop.
Okay.
But I mean, I might be speaking the truth on that one though.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. If you look at if Andy's going to be the guy, you're probably going to have 2 to 3 years that he can fit that seat. So in that time, you could probably sit here, restructure, get some more draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Right. Maybe get some more weapons for Andy Dalton down there in Carolina. And then come like year 2 or something like that, maybe that's when you start having your outlook of like, hey, let's go ahead and search for another QB. Right. Because by that time, 36, you're peaking. So I think that will be the time that you would sit there and be like, hey, let's go ahead and let's find that one to sit here and replace Dalton.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the route to go. I just think there was just from, like I said, there was no expectation of him to even do what he did yesterday. And that's a good point. That's where I was going, Cliff. I said, do you think? I do, in the sense that Carolina has nothing like it. Just seemed like a different energy and a different vibe from a guy who has he's been a starter. He's been an all-star. He's been in the league. We're talking about 12, 13 years. There was a calm, and just in the reads that he was making on the field, there was no pressure. Like we're gonna go back to, look, I know I'm coming in. I've done this before, but there's no pressure on me. There's no pressure to win or lose. We're already terrible, right? And he made the reads, he made the plays, and I just think guys feed off of that. You look at the running game. Chuba, Hubbard came in, man, over 100 some yards. Thielen out there playing like he's 25 again until he got hurt.
He got banged up.
Yeah, but again, I just think, can he maintain that level, Cliff? No. But do I think he can stabilize them to where now they're not necessarily the laughing stock of the league? Yes, I think he makes them competitive moving forward. And I think that's what you want to maintain, if anything. And again, as Giants fans, that's all I want. I just want to be competitive. Because first week we were Pee Wee. That was not even Pee Wee, that was Junior Pony. The last 2 weeks we've seen like we've been competitive. And that's all you really want in the NFL week to week, just to be competitive. So, it's to be seen moving forward. And one of the other games too, like one of the premier players in the league, this dude, man, I mean, he hasn't showed up at all in any of the Chiefs games this week. And you hear the rumors, whatever, Taylor, the Swifties weren't there to show support. She was doing her thing. And I don't know, he looked like somebody kicked him in the ding while he was sitting there on the sidelines pouting and crying. But I have to ask, have we seen the best? Like, has he really peaked now? And are we just really looking at the backside or the shell of what's left or what's to come?
Yeah. I'm just going to keep it a bean right there. Point blank and simple. I mean, they already drafted, he already has his apprentice, because I forgot the name of the other tight end that they have. Yeah. But I mean, for the past, even going into the latter half of last season, that tight end been picking it up where Kelsey has been slacking. And you going into this season, I mean, you look at it. He has $100 million podcast. He's dating Taylor Swift. I think he's kind of on cruise control right now anyway. So I feel like it's a matter of time before he sits here and starts talking about retirement anyway. So he's not too far. Three Super Bowls, in the past 5 years. Yeah, working on number 4. And I think this would be that pinnacle if he's in a true supporting role. He doesn't need to be in that top tier spotlight. But just as long as, we hear that Kelsey Mahomes interaction throughout the season, he'll be all right.
Yeah, I agree. I throw it out there, just looking and listening. I do agree. We talked about it during the preseason. I think he is on the back. He really didn't have the same type of numbers last year. It was really towards the end of the season, into the playoffs, he showed up. And again, that's really all that really matters. I mean, if you're talking about it, with that type of experience, you really want him to pick his spots, and you want to use him in those spots that's needed. And I agree. I think we've seen, I mean, it's been a long run, man. The last 5 or 6 years with Kansas City, man, it's been a heck of a run. These are those dynasty spots that, you don't see often, outside of, when Brady and the Patriots were doing it, the Cowboys of whenever, and there's certain teams, your Packers and things. But I think we've seen the best of him, and I think we're looking at a changing of the guard at their tight end position, and just how they operate offensively. Period. I think it's going to change, but it's going to be interesting to see, because, like I said, I don't think there's not. If they win again, I'm with you. I think he might just chalk it up and say, there's nothing left for me. 4 in a row. What else is left, and what else do we need to do? Or see from him? So.
I've been contemplating that. I feel like low key this might be his last season, period. I want to say he's 35, 36.
Yeah.
So I mean, he ain't no. I mean, the football, that's kind of especially for tight ends, you don't see. I mean, minus Tony Gonzalez, he was
man.
Exactly, the forever man right there. So I don't forecast Kelsey playing as long as he did. So maybe a year or two tops, 2 years tops that he has, including this season that he has remaining. But there's too much speed on the field for KC, and I honestly feel like Kelsey is. I don't mean to be rude, but he kind of like slowing them down. So if you can't find nothing downrange, now don't get me wrong. If you can't find nothing downrange, he's going to sit there and chuck it to him. You know, he gets open somehow. But how long did Gronk play? What, 12 years?
12 years or so. I mean, that's a long time for a tight end. Like let's call it what it is. Tight end, especially, look, the way the game has changed today, where they've made them. The tight ends are really like split ends now. You know, they have wide receivers. Some of them have wide receivers speed. They have great hands. But let's just call it what they take a pounding though. Really, if you some of the hits that they take over the middle, you know, making those plays, it's just not the same. And that longevity though, even still, 10 years, 12 years, 13, that's a long time.
I mean, he's on year 10 right now.
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying? So he's at that point, and I think that he did all 4 years at doggone Cincinnati too,
Cincinnati too, yeah.
Yeah, he played all the way through his senior year, so it's like he didn't come in. He was a seasoned rookie.
He was a grown man. He was 22, 23 years old. So if we talking 10, so he's 33, probably going on 34, which again, that's a lot of tread. And then over the last 5 years, though, you know, you're going into the postseason, so you're playing, you know, those 2-3 extra years, you know. And Kittle's another one, though. I think he's probably close to the same. Like when we again talked about it in the preseason. So Kittle's, Andrews in Baltimore, and Kelsey are probably like the top 3. But we have to put it. We've been watching them for the better part of like 10 years, you know, and it's slowing down. I mean, you look at Kittle's, he's beat up in San Francisco. His body seems like it's breaking down. We've seen what seems to happen to Mark Andrews just about every other year or every year for the last 3 or 4 years. He gets banged up all the time. So, you know, as great as they are physically, I mean, they're putting their bodies through it, man. And, you know, and again, we talked in the preseason, we're looking at that new guard of tight ends. And look, that could be, and see, that's one half of one and one half the other, right? Would he be more dangerous and have more yards? Maybe. But we got to be honest, too. I mean, his body's broken down over those last couple of years, too. You know, I mean, he missed 6-7 games, you know, at a pop. You're not really going to be able to really statistically, you know, what you would think he would have or what he should have when you're sitting on the sideline. So, but it's great points.
Where he at, regardless.
Yeah, great points. So we're going to transition then. You know, one of the games I think that was on your schedule, Sam, we went to we're going back to Lake Minnetonka, and man, I don't know what's going on up there, bro. And I know it eats you up. That's in your division. I was expecting it to be a better game.
Yo, you and me both.
I
picked the Texans because I had no faith in Sam Darnold.
Right.
All right. And granted, Sam Darnold only had like 180 yards, but he still had like 4 TDs. And it's like, how the hell does that happen? You know what I'm saying? The Texans couldn't get nothing started. You know what I'm saying? Destroying the doggone offensive line. They had 4 sacks in the game. I wrote down the Texans played like dumpster juice. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly how they perform.
It was terrible, bro.
Yeah, and granted, CJ Stroud had he threw for almost 300 yards, but he only had 1 touchdown. He had 2 interceptions in that. The Vikings defense held them to under 50 yards rushing. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't nobody get off the doggone line. So, and I still can't believe that Minnesota is leading the damn NFC North, being 3-0. So hopefully we could change that this weekend.
I'm gonna believe it. I'm gonna believe. Look, I'm telling you something at Lake Minnetonka, bro. Look, I seen what he did to my Giants. Like I said, that week 1, I was like, okay, that was.
Hey, look, Sam Darnold went to Lake Minnetonka. He filled up a gallon jug. He took it home. He put it in the Kool-Aid. He made some ice cubes. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I was like, what is happening?
I don't know what's going on, man. Exactly, like that game was crazy, right? And Cliff said his granddad would have said that the game was fixed. How the hell the Texans play like they get? Look, we have been saying that for the last couple of weeks, man. We've been on this Minnesota kick.
It's a shock vacuum.
And
what's crazy is that they're doing it with pretty much the same squad. There's only one person that's missing, and that's Kirko Chains.
That's it.
That's the only person that's missing out of that whole knuffle right there. Like.
No Kirk Cousins.
And the way that Sam Darnold played in with the Jets, it's like there's no way that we should be getting this type of performance right now.
Like you said, the biggest two takeaways is look right now, Sam Darnold and the offensive coach O'Connell, like they have to be feared right now. You have to look. I know we're not even a quarter way into the season, but look, they've looked like you said. Kirko Chains is going. Everything just one player, and we talking about Sam Darnold, who we knew was trash. I mean, they're making a difference in Minnesota, so I have to give them that. But from that game and just really watching the Texans, I have to exactly like Sam's right. Where's Tank Dell? He hasn't been anywhere in the Texans' offense in the first 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know what's going on with the Texans and all that talent. Somebody need to go be dipped in some lake or wherever in Texas and get a gallon of this juice or something, man, because right now the Texans they're going in reverse. And it's just too much talent.
That's the problem. They ain't got no lakes out there in Texas. They need to go to the beach, go to Galveston Beach or something like that. Dip your toes in right quick.
Do something because it's not working right now. So, like I said, it's only 3 weeks, but the Texans, I just think we've been put on alert. Like, let's get it in gear and get this thing moving because it hasn't been popping, these first 3 weeks and everything. And I want to go to a little clip, before we get into the next game because.
Wait, hold on. Let me. I got to set this up right quick.
You got to set it up real quick. Okay.
Let me go ahead and. I had to go ahead and get right quick. Hold on.
You had to get right because look, all I know is I couldn't do anything other than laugh. Derek Carr's out here giving them the Billie Jean, and he out here looking like a superstar, man. Tex, what you say on this blowout of the Cowboys, man, by the Saints? So that was Big Sam and I last week. Did I lose Sam? I look like I ran big. I don't have you on screen no more.
Wait, hold on real quick. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. But we look like Big Tex came in and ran everybody out.
Let me see what's going on right quick. Now I still got everything set up right quick.
I don't see you. I don't know where you went.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know where you went either. Boy, I tell you, we got the gremlins in here. All I see is your back screen.
Hold on, let me leave and try to run back real quick.
Come on back. So yeah, that was last week. We had Stephen A join us in the studio. Big Sam talked about the Cowboys, and we're gonna do that again here in this next segment. I don't know what happened. We got the gremlins in the machine. You gotta love modern technology. But if you're watching, let us know what were your thoughts on the Cowboys and the Ravens. And here we go. We got Tex back. Big Sam Tex is in the building. So what you got on that Vikings game? You mean the Cowboys and the Ravens, because it was a little bit too late in that game, but the Ravens was putting a mud hole in them when they first came out in that first half.
Yeah, I don't think the score actually shows like the impact of how much of a shellacking these Cowboys got that game. I mean, first off, I took my hat off to doggone Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tip my hat off to him. Hey, look, 151 yards, 2 TDs. He must have heard people beforehand talking about that rent was due.
Yeah,
man. He came over there and he delivered.
Yeah,
because he was all right last week. Week 1, it was like, is this going to be a good fit? But they're doing the right thing because they're feeding the young man. You know what I'm saying? And I know that doggone Jerry Jones is turning over, besides taking breaks and talking about his players' meat with Jamie Foxx. But that's a different.
Yeah,
that's another topic.
Yeah, I was gonna put that. I was gonna bring that one, but I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna sit here and have another grown man talk about other grown men's meat. I don't know what they doing down there, but Jerry off the chain with that, bro.
Yeah, Jerry was on one.
Yeah, man.
But there was nothing, and you know what I'm saying. That makes it crazy. That came over there and said, y'all could jump off if y'all want to, and people are being unjumped off. And this is the problem, and this is what I said before. Dak Prescott, he's going to give you. We'll pause on that one, Cliff. But the thing that pisses me off about Dak, and I know that is not just him. Defense was abysmal. They were like a no-show. They couldn't stop the run. Lamar was able to sit there and throw it when he needed it to. I mean, he didn't go over 200 yards. I think he had like 182 in a TD. But like the Ravens came over there, smothered Dak Prescott. They had 3 sacks. They had 6 3-and-outs. They had a fumble for loss during the game. And I said it, like, if I was playing fantasy football, I will always have Dak on my team because he's going to throw for at least 350 yards, get a couple of touchdowns, and he's going to keep you in the running. But like, if you're looking longevity as like a team and what he should be doing, hey, look, man, you are a $243 million man.
And that's it.
You are like the elitist when it comes to quarterbacks. So you're going to have to play harder than any doggone body. Yeah. And you got to have to rally this team too.
I couldn't agree with you.
They gave up 456 total yards too.
They got stumped. And like Cliff said, I mean, Henry ran for about 50, and he wasn't even really playing like he did on the Titans. I mean, he called it. I agree. And
no, he hasn't, because normally when he gets off the line, he's like mad explosive. Yep. So you see that loss of speed, I guess you could say. Yeah. Like when he comes off the line, like it really shows. But once again, it's just impactful the way that it needs to be. Like once he gets past that front 7, or sometimes you could say just that front 4.
Front 4.
He's mushing everybody else. Linebacker, DB, CB, it doesn't matter. You get a mush. So stay out of his way.
All I can say is, I'm gonna agree with everything you said. And I don't really have one point from watching this game. And Dallas gave up 7.6 yards per play, basically. Yep. And they gave up 456 total yards. I don't know, whatever defense that was playing last year is not the same defense this year. And the biggest key is if their defense can't keep them in, Dallas's offense is not elite anymore, in my opinion. There's really no threats. There's no running game. There's no threat. I mean, if you can manage, and they did a very good job of managing CeeDee Lamb and keeping him, in check. And like I said, I mean, like they got their touchdowns and the score was deceiving. Yeah. But there's nothing really that's a threat on that Cowboys offense right now. And if this is what they're gonna be stuck with for the rest of the year, if they make 800, it's gonna be an ugly 800. 8-8, 8-1, 9. Well, it's gonna be ugly though because there's no threat. And I don't see where they fix it. I just don't see it. And like you said, Dak's being that guy, making all that money. I just don't think he's a number one guy, like the guy that's going to push the needle and push them over the top. So it's going to be. I think right now this looks like I said, it's only 3 weeks, but it's going to be a long season if this is how the Cowboys are looking and playing right now. So, no disrespect, Cowgirls, but.
Oh, I'm being mad disrespectful. Y'all need to get y'all ish together. Like, bump that. Yeah, hey, y'all supposed to be. Hey, look, y'all supposed to be America's team.
That's what they say.
Right? Y'all can't. I said that y'all were having bad luck against teams that were above 500. You have a team that's a negative like 8,000 with an 0-2 Ravens team that came in and ran y'all out y'all own doggone stadium.
They smashed.
You know what I'm saying? Last week I had to deal with Mardi Gras. You know what I'm saying? This week I had to deal with some Baltimore house music. You know what I'm saying?
They got smashed, boy. They got smashed.
I know.
It was ugly. It was ugly. But we're going change gears, and we're gonna take it, to your backyard. And we're gonna talk about, you had the Packers and the Titans, and look, my man Malik got some sweet revenge. I know it had to feel good showing up, in Tennessee, team that pretty much they drafted him, undrafted him, kicked him to the curb. And look,
Yep.
I got to be honest, man. Malik, over the 2 weeks, it hasn't been overly impressive, but the game script that they've drawn up for him just to keep you guys afloat, because it seems like Jordan Love might be coming back sooner than expected, and he kept you
Right.
guys afloat. Not even afloat, he kept you really guys in things, and he did it
Mhm.
very well, in my opinion. What was your take on the game?
Hey, look, for the past 2 weeks, I've been saying the same thing. The main thing that Malik Willis had to do was focus on not turning over the ball, playing smart ball. Defense needed to get off the field in a reasonable amount of time. And
Mhm.
that's what's been happening. And granted, like I get it. I already said that the Titans just wasn't that team to begin with. And
Right.
I mean, it showed when they played. Will Levis, he needs to stay off these damn Duke's Mayo commercials or whatever it is doing the splits. His IQ awareness is like
Terrible,
really atrocious right now.
terrible.
He had two pickles and like he be like throwing up just like wish lobs. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? He
terrible.
doesn't even necessarily be throwing it to anybody. He just like, I hope somebody catch this, which they do. And I know that Xavier McKinney, and Jair Alexander, they are really gracious for those pickles that were out there, and they
He
took
throwing
them.
him up. Yeah, he was throwing
Yeah,
him
they were delicious pick six. So and then once again, I still have to and then you look at the numbers too, like Tennessee had no running game either.
at all.
Green
Nothing.
Bay had 188 total running yards versus Tennessee's 33. So couldn't nobody get off. And I was giving accolades last week to Tony Pollard and how he got did dirty by Dallas, and like he barely showed up. I think he
At
only
all.
had like damn 15 yards or something like
Nothing.
that.
But again, I
But
put that
that's
on.
that.
I don't know. That's Tennessee. Like I don't.
Yeah, and like I just once again my hats off to like the whole Green Bay team. Everybody
Mhm.
did what they need to. I said I don't know if it's going to be 3 to 6 games, but we're on a good track for keeping it 500. So whenever Jordan Love does come in,
Yep.
I don't know if I want him. It's like I want him in this Minnesota game, and we're probably going to talk about it.
Yep.
But
Yep.
at the same time, I'm just like, do we really need him right now? Like,
And that was really
you
my
know,
question, because you guys have Minnesota coming up on Sunday.
right.
Do you really feel like you need him, or you want him, for that matchup?
I
I
don't
mean,
think it's more on Malik Willis. I think it's more on our offensive line. They gotta continue to reduce the penalties. We did still have a lot of penalties the last game. And we were rolling into like back-to-back games with like mad penalties. So we had on both sides, on offense and defense.
mhm.
If the defense could continue to play the way that they are, gonna have to contain Justin Jefferson some way, because like he's been the it factor on whatever scheme that Minnesota's running. And if our offensive line can hold up that defensive front that Minnesota has,
Mhm.
that's my key thing. Like, I
Mhm.
think if we could do those things and Josh Jacobs run the ball like he's been doing, I don't really feel like there's a big need for Jordan Love to come in.
Right.
I would rather give him one more week anyway.
Right.
And I think coming on that, we'll be going into a bye week after that, maybe.
Okay.
But I'm not pressed. You
Gotcha.
know, I don't think that rushing him will do anything. So, I mean, if
Yeah.
he's good to go, he's good to go, and I'm gonna be rocking my number 10 jersey and rooting for him. But I'm just not. Malik is doing okay. He's doing
Look,
way better than what I
listen.
anticipated that he was
Like
going to do.
all I can say is, look, I was looking at while you were talking. I'm looking at my numbers here in my list. So, while he was in Tennessee over his first 2 seasons, Malik was only completing 53% of his passes. Zero
Mhm.
touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So guess what? With Green Bay, he's
Yep,
been 25 of 34
I
with
know.
2 touchdowns and no turnovers. I mean, I
Twen-
do we say that's coaching or what? Like, I
I just think
mean,
that he's in a different program. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying?
mhm,
And he leveled up, honestly, because I mean you still look at the growing pain, and I mean that's like the past 3 years that Tennessee been, to include this year, that Tennessee been going through their woes and everything. So
right,
he's doing what he needs to do. He's in a better program. I think, like you said, that coaching Matt LaFleur. It's kind of taking him underneath his wing and everything. They're not putting too much weight on him too.
Yep.
You know, they're not telling him to be the guy. We just need you to hold the fort down, and that's what he's been doing.
Well, I agree. Like what Cliff said, you know, I personally, I'm kind of from the old school. I don't think he should play unless it's in a cleanup role. And when I say cleanup, if Malik gets hurt, game is close, you know, and you guys, you know, in the thick of a battle, you know, you want to win, yes. But I believe in going with the hot hand. You know, Malik has shown with the coaching and whatever game scripts and game plans that they're writing, they're really from what I see, they're breaking the field in half for him. If there's one or two, if there's nothing on the first and second read, he either goes or he throws it away. You know, keep the time of the things. So I would say right now, you know, until maybe you guys go into your break. Let Love rest up, and if you guys are winning, let Malik keep driving the bus. Now, look, Tennessee was just totally their offensive line was just offensive. They allowed 8 sacks. I mean, like I don't even know what else to say. Will Levis already looks like trash, but when you have that type of thing, hello Giants fans. Yes, we know what that looks like when you can't keep your quarterback upright. That's what it looks like. So I'm with you, and we're talking about like these guys that are, you know, moving the chains. Like, you know, when I look at Malik and everything that's going on, same thing goes for, you know, our friends in Pittsburgh. Like they were running field. I mean, they ran him out of Chicago, and you know, look at him, you know, in Pittsburgh, you know, and right. If you have a backup that's winning with an extended season, let them rock out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're looking at. Like I said, the whole big deal that was going on in Steel Town, the whole Rush thing, and we're looking at Justin Fields right now. Justin Fields, man, they ran him out of Chicago. He in Pittsburgh. He 3-0, bro. And that's with a solid defense. And he too is not, you know, making any mistakes. You know, I mean, he's just been kind of, I mean, like what we talked about early on. Like you give him more reps, you give him the repetitions. Let's see what we get. You know, your defense is showing up every week. He's cutting down on the turnovers. He's making the plays when he needs to, whether it be with his arm and his legs. And I say this. Let's see where this goes. Like Russell Wilson is a thing of the past. Like we shouldn't even be talking. Again, respect his career, but we shouldn't even be talking about Russell right now. This should be Justin's Field thing to ride out for the rest of the season and see where things fall. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the Chargers were hurt; they were banged up, and it was really close into the third quarter. I watched some of this game, but you can just kind of see, you know, Pittsburgh defense just wearing and grinding on LA, and they really had nothing for him towards the back end of the game. But I'm happy for Justin Fields because he really got dogged out, in my opinion, in Chicago.
Yeah, and I think the thing that pisses me off more about that is that like he had garbage as head coaches.
Yeah,
like he had one come from the CFL, and I was like, "What is this?" I forgot my man's name, but like they announced that, and I was like, "Ooh, we getting spicy and desperate at the same time." I was like, once again, like if you sit here and you put a quarterback in a good system, you know, around good coaching, starting to deliver. And I said it beforehand too, like no disrespect to Russell Wilson, but I really feel like that has passed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sit here, like I said, his role right now, I need to be focused on sitting here, help coaching Justin Fields to be the best that he can be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep his water cold, keep his towel dry, and coach him up.
If he gets banged up, all right, I'll get in here, but they gotta let that man run, and it shouldn't be no desperation mode. Like you're 3-0 right now, you got a good thing going on. Your defense is playing immaculate. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of mistakes. So once again, just as long as you keep the mistakes down to a minimum, Justin Fields is going to be all right. And he, in my book, he's the number one. There should be no question. He's the number one out there at Pitt.
And I agree. Because like Cliff said, you know, another one, no pressure. He's been here in the whole preseason that Russell was number one. So he came in with nothing to prove. And I, like I said, we talked about it in the preseason, like you said, Sam. So, I mean, looking at his numbers. So, again, Justin Fields went 25 for 32 and for 245 yards and a touchdown. Now, look, if Pittsburgh keeps getting that type of play from him offensively and the offense itself, they're moving the ball, no turnovers, no mistakes. I mean, let's just call it what it is. With that type of defense, it's going to be hard for anybody to beat them. You know, and they're pretty much in the game all the time. If he plays consistently like that week in and week out, so it's going to be interesting. And you know, just looking at really from the Chargers, you know, J.K. Dobbins was ripping and running through the league, 130 yards per game. He only had 44 yards against the Steelers defense. You know, they said Justin went out. I think Bosa went out with a hip. And they had a couple other injuries throughout the game. So, you know, they took their first ding. It's just going to be interesting because, like I said, we know this is going to be a ground and pound type team with Harbaugh being in with the Chargers. So, it's going to be a lot of attrition with them. I just think. I think the injuries are going to mount up if that's the style of ball that they're going to commit to. And then we're going to come back here. You know, we looked at another game, which was on my slate. You know, and look. Philly, they gutted this one out over the Saints. You know, we talked last week. I didn't think that the Saints and Derek Carr could be stopped. Like that passing attack. I thought they passing attack. You know, like we looked at the first 2 weeks. It was going to be tough. Yeah, technically, the Steelers should be able to confuse the. It should be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I disagree with that too. Because like I feel like Justin Fields is more of a threat, but like
at this stage,
if Russell comes in, it's like I'm about to smash this dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here talking shit to that doggone offensive line, like your man's about to get smashed because he don't know what's coming to him. But like when Justin is in the game, it's like I feel like he's more of that threat to I don't know if he's going to use his arm or if he's going to use his feet. Like that has really passed doggone Russell Wilson, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean that's not his. What was his strength is no longer his strength.
Right.
That dual threat now. I mean, look, he's a pocket passer, and you can really tee off on that. You know now because yes, he still may break the pocket, but he's not going to do it like when you know Justin can do it he can do it almost every doggone play.
Right.
You know,
and I said it. Pete Carroll. There was a reason why Pete Carroll came over there and got rid of him.
Exactly. You know somebody knew something on the inside.
Yeah. Pete Carroll knew something, and Russell was like, "I feel my value is worth more than that," and Pete was like, "All right, go ahead."
Yeah, good luck with that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead and find that.
And we're seeing the back end.
It's not here. It's not here in Seattle anymore. So I wish you the best.
Yep. It's not at all. So, like I said, I love Russ. I love his career. I love what he's brought to the game. But you got to let that ship sail. Time for him and Sierra and the kids to go do commercials or do whatever it is they do in the community. But like I said, we were talking about the Eagles and the Saints. And all I can really say is, look, Giants. If I could find one executive in the Giants front office, I kick him in the nuts because Saquon has been worth every penny of the money that the Eagles paid because they could be 3-0. Okay, and look, nobody's perfect. This is where that 99. Okay, so he dropped the pass last week that could have closed the game out. But just hear me out. He has been spectacular in all 3 games that they've had. I don't care how you cut it. As a running back, he's catching, he's running. The Eagles should have lost that game. He breaks that 65-yard run late in the third quarter or whatever it was with 3rd and 16. Or no, it was the fourth quarter. It was like a minute and something left in the game. And that really, I think, broke the back of the Saints. Now, without that, it was an ugly game. Defenses showed up. I
was just getting ready to say
it was an ugly game.
Atrocious.
It was atrocious. Like I said, you know, we thought the Saints was flying high. Derek Carr was on some whatever they got down in New Orleans. But it's just it was a gutsy win. And you know, right now I'm just gonna call it the Philadelphia Cream, you know, rose to the top. Right. And I mean exactly that 65 or 61, whatever it was. I know it was 60 something.
Yeah.
That changed everything. And like I said, you can kind of feel all the air in the stadium come out. No AJ, they slam. I mean, Devonta took a heck of a hit to the head. I mean, I watched that, and I mean, I was praying for the boy because I was like, man, somebody his size, that wasn't even a lawn chair. That was a piece. That was a piece of a chair that was left after they folded him up with that hit to the head. But thankfully, he's okay. And right now, the only thing I can say about the Eagles outside of Saquon, I just scratched my head at the head coach. He had a series of like some crazy decisions. You know, he kind of went for 4th and 1 instead of taking field goal. I think in the second quarter it was like 4th and 1 from the 15-yard line. He called for a run, and they lost it. Like just some of the Sirianni has been doing some like really weird things this season. Right. So I'm a little sketchy on that when it comes to Philly. But overall, they worked this one out, and I mean, right now it's going to be they don't look good, right. But if they're going to fight and hang in like that, and like I said, take that one play, and you got Saquon in the backfield, you got to be happy with at least those are the type of game builders. You get those type of ugly wins under your belt. It helps later on in the season. So we'll see what happens with Philly. What was your take?
I thought that game was trash. Like I said, it didn't pick up until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And by that time, I was like, man, this is really anybody's game. So it was just poor tackling on the defense that broke it. And then, the Saints couldn't capitalize. There was nothing that they could do, to get that momentum back. But by that time, I mean, you had less than 2 minutes to try to recoup that. So, hey, Philly won, by the skin of their teeth, but a dub is a dub. So,
yeah.
But that just lets you know, like, they have aspirations of going to the Super Bowl. You cannot play like that for 3.5 quarters and just go out on a whim. Yeah. It was just one jacked up play on the defense that caused them to get that W. So,
yeah,
but they're the victors. So,
yeah, I mean, you got to give it to them. Like I said, that one play made all the difference in the world.
It did.
And I mean, a dub's a dub, so you can't argue with that. And I'm gonna give you kudos, bro, on this next one. Mm-hmm. I gotta be honest, because you called it last week.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm rooting for you. I'm gonna go with the Giants. You know what I'm saying? I think Danny Dimes is gonna have a lights out game, and we're gonna be amazed. Not only with his throwing accuracy, but with his feet too. So Danny Dimes and the Giants for the win.
Bruh. All right. I appreciate you, man. You're a good friend. You're a really good friend.
Hey, if you're not going to have faith in yourself, like let me burden that. I'll put that on my shoulders.
I appreciate that, man, because that's what friends are for.
See the I got light your back, man.
Yeah, they see the light when you don't see the light. But I'm going with the Browns. I'm dropping the Browns. Sam is taking my Giants. And
I am.
All I know is remember I said it here, and when we come back next week, Deshaun Watson for 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 on the ground. That's my prediction. And the Browns they're gonna rout my Giants.
So that was last week, and I don't know why. It seems like whenever I play those clips, we lose Sam into the light, into the darkness. So we're gonna bring him back. But Cliff, you hit it on the head. I gotta give Sam his props. And yes, absolutely, we have no superstars, no stars. We have a junior pony team. I don't even call them the ponies. They junior pony team. And we have I'm sorry, Cliff. I had to do it. We've been bad all season. I went out on a limb, and Sam had my back on it. He called it, and I was wrong. So to my Giants fans, Cliff, you're right. I'm still going to say this. We did everything that we could to give that game away in the fourth quarter. We stopped pushing the ball down the field. We had fumble. We had a couple of turnovers, a couple of missed opportunities on 3rd and short. We just tightened up. We choked up. Now, the highlight is, out of all of this, is that, yes, we do have a number 1 receiver. We can honestly say that. But we still have a mediocre quarterback. So we may never see Neighbors' stardom come to fruition. Right. See, thank you, Cliff. I know you thought this.
No. The both of y'all have like very limited faith in y'all doggone team. All right.
We do.
I need y'all to start exuding some confidence Danny Dimes and the G-Men. Okay. That's what I need y'all to do. I'm affirming it. All right.
Okay,
I'm gonna
I
be.
appreciate
Hey, look. Y'all gonna be surprised come Thursday too. All right.
Because don't tell me you picking. Don't tell me. Don't tell. All right. We're gonna get to that.
We go. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
gosh.
Hey, that's the only reason why I kept this hat on this whole time.
Gosh.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, look, I appreciate you, bro. I really do. Right. Thank you. See, I'm just the opposite. I know the possibilities, and one of them ain't faith. Because
hey, look, there's many variables that could be out there for any team. All right, but there's certain circumstances that call that I just know there's going to be some doves. All right, and y'all going to get it. All right, we'll get into it. I don't want to jump the hoop.
Yeah,
I don't want to jump the line. All right,
all I can say is, look, our defense showed up. We sacked Deshaun 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that was a heck of a show. But like I said, the game shouldn't have been that close. We won by a touchdown, 6 points.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like I said, that fourth quarter was really a scramble because we really. Yeah, right. We're talking about Danny Dimes here. He's really 2 nickels. Danny,
a little faith.
Yeah, because the play calling. Look, I'm just gonna call. Our play calling is predictable. You know when we're gonna run. You know we're gonna pass. A couple of those passes, right. Malik made those plays because those were. I'm throwing them up and I'm hoping that he catches it. There was like 1 or 2 on the side. Look, so Malik is a young star in the making. It's gonna be a long season. And look, okay, so now I can honestly say. And I mean, I even looked at the schedule. Like, okay, we got the Panthers, but I think we have them in the UK. So that's a travel game for both teams. But I still think we're better than them. Okay, so we can give that one a check. We got the Bengals on the schedule right now. I mean, the Bengals have been overrated and overhyped and overmatched all season. So that might be a win. Outside of that, look, we got to travel to Seattle. We got the Commanders again. We still got the Cowgirls on the schedule twice. Look, the Cowgirls outscored us last season. It was like 89-17 in 2 games. Like, I mean,
right.
Come on, bro. Like, we didn't get better.
Yeah, but at the same time, Dallas didn't get any better either.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Offensively, you're right. But
defensively, they haven't been showing up either.
Well, this is true.
They had that one good game against the team that y'all beat. Think about that. Let's just go ahead and keep it funky. All right. Okay. Dallas obliterated. No, Dallas came over there and obliterated doggone Cleveland, right? And then they got smacked in the jaw against the Saints. They got smacked in the jaw against the Ravens. The rest of the points that they put in the fourth quarter, those were just charity points. That the doggone Ravens came over there and gave them. Y'all came over there and almost gave the game away. But for them to sit here and have a blowout against Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? And then for 3 quarters, for the majority of the game, y'all seem like on the up and up. All right. So there's a good chance that y'all can sit here and beat Dallas. So let's not sit here and say that it can't be done.
I mean, anything is, like I said, I just don't put faith next to the Giants.
I'm putting faith on the Giants. Okay. I did the same thing last week. Damn it, I'm doing it again this week.
Okay. All right. So because we're gonna lead
affirm. I will affirm by that.
I'm gonna let you do your part. We're gonna lead into that part for next week.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay. So you called it. I'm giving you your kudos. And what was your you was right, bro. You was right. I got to respect
right.
That. So what was your take on the almost gimme? The Giants holding on at the end.
That young man did everything I said he was going to do. So I rest my case. You know what I'm saying? I am known on that one. Danny Dimes, he ran with what I said. He ran with his feet.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? He lobbed some TDs. So he did everything that I needed him to do. So I'm content. So I'm all right. I ain't got nothing else to say about that. Besides, how many sacks you said Deshaun Watson had? Well, they had Deshaun Watson and famous Jameis in there, and it still didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
So, and I get it. Cleveland is a mess right now. Let's just call that one what it is right there. But the G-Man said that I'm getting tired of y'all ish. So let me go out here and do something. And that's what they did. All right. So by the end of the week, they're going to be a 500 team. So watch this. You ain't got nothing to say, do you?
Bro, you got me stumped right now. I don't even know how you even came out the hat with that one, bro. I don't even know how you came out the hat with that.
The Cowboys are going to lose to the G-Men on Thursday. I'm calling it here. All right. Go ahead. If you're a betting man or woman, go ahead and make those bets. All right.
Okay.
The Cowboys is about to get exposed for who they are, or they already got exposed for who they are.
Okay.
So,
all right, but we're gonna get into that. So real
Yeah.
quick, we're gonna do our start one, sit one, cut one, for next week. For those who may play a little fantasy and looking for, we're gonna do wide receivers this week. We did the QBs last week, so we're gonna do wide receivers this week. So who would you be starting? Looking to start? You know, if you had to put somebody in the lineup for week 4.
I'm starting Nico Collins,
Okay.
receiver for the Texans.
Texans.
Yep.
Okay.
Main reason why I'm starting him is because Jacksonville hasn't been stopping nothing.
They've been
They
garbage.
can't even stop running water by turning off the faucet right now. I don't know what's going on with them.
They've been terrible.
So if I was to pick somebody to sit here and ball out, it's going to be Nico Collins.
That's a good
I'm going to bench Tyreek Hill. And the only reason why I'm benching him is like, I don't even know who Miami's third string quarterback is. I know that he played a little bit because Skylar Thompson got banged up.
Yeah.
I forgot the name that they said because I was like, who?
Boyle? Oh, was it Boyle? What? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle. I should know that because he used to play for Green Bay.
Green Bay, yeah.
I should know him. But that's the type of impact that he had while he was in Green Bay too, because he would start a game and don't throw any touchdowns, so it was mad frustrating. And with that, you're talking about another 3-0 team with Seattle. And that Legion of Boom has been showing up.
Yeah,
same name. Yeah, same moniker, just different cast of characters.
Yeah.
And I expect them to do the same. And if I'm keeping it a bean, I'm cutting Juju Smith-Schuster from Kansas City.
Really? Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. He hasn't been impactful, but I mean, I think he had a touchdown last week, and I mean, but he hasn't been impactful. But I'm with you. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. So
I mean, he hasn't been the same since he was on them bad woes out there in doggone Pitt, and then he became a traveling man. Where he was up in
New England.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he barely did anything up there too. So
yeah,
I was going to put a Scatling from Buffalo up here. There was a toss up between them two.
Yeah, I had a New York.
He ain't got no hands.
No hands whatsoever. Ever since he left Green Bay, he had no hands. So I went a different route. So I'm gonna start Devontae Adams this week. I know he's been limited to, he only had 4 catches and 40 yards against the Panthers last week. But he's getting the Browns this week. So I think he's been targeted on average about 9 times a game. It's not bad, but going up against the Browns, I think they're stone cold right now, and I think it's time for Devontae to have a breakout game. So I'm going to start Devontae this week. And I agree with you with benching. Look, we got to just go ahead and bench the whole Miami. I'm putting I'm putting their whole receiving core on the bench.
Tariq,
everybody, everybody
is
their whole receiving core is going on the bench. Like,
just go sit down.
Yeah, from Skylar Thompson to Tim Boyle, whoever, Tyler Huntley, whoever they talking about bringing back, I just don't see it. Just put that whole receiving unit on ice until they find out what's going on with Tua. Hope he's doing well and whatever's going to happen. But I would put their whole unit on ice. And funny enough, I didn't think about this one. But I went to New York. I went and cut Garrett Wilson at the Jets. Oh, wow. It's like you've been kind of waiting for the breakthrough. I mean, even though, looking at his numbers for the first couple of weeks, I mean, he's had 15 catches for 150 yards. It's nothing like, blowing your mind there. But, we've been talking, people talk about Garrett, like the last couple of years, that breakout year. And I said, he might have to wait another week because they're going against Denver, who played lights out this week. I dogged Peyton last week and Bo Nix and the whole Denver team last week. But they balled out. And Garrett Wilson, he's going to be looking at Patrick Surtain, the second. And he's a pretty good cornerback, looking at numbers and things. And they've been pretty good against opposing receivers this season, even though they've kind of been beat up. So I'm gonna sit him because I was looking at Chris Godwin at one point for Tampa Bay and couple others, but I'm gonna go with Garrett Wilson. I'm gonna cut him this week and let him ride it out for another week. So we're on the back end and we getting ready to go into next week's picks. So I'm gonna let you start because Thursday night you have faith in, So go ahead, Tex. I'm gonna let you take it away.
The G-Men. I am going Giants over Dallas. All right. Okay. I'm telling you. Hey, look. Like I said, Dak go to sit here and throw up numbers all day. Dallas defense has been exposed. With that being said, so I just need Danny Dimes to be a doggone field general and sit here and play strategic ball and give that ball to neighbors and call it a day. Okay. So I'm picking the G-Men at home. All right. I'm affirming with that one.
All right. Look, so Cliff is with you. Right.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And I get Cliff out. Like my mouth wants to say G-Men, but I've seen the atrocity that's happened in our division against the Cowboys. Really, honestly, like the last 4 years, I mean, they've outscored us like 130 to 50. Like the last, I don't know, not the last 4 years. I'm sorry, the last 4 games. That's over the last 2 years. They've dominated us and they've continued to dominate us. And as much progress that we have made, I just can't see it. I gotta go with I'm taking the Cowboys on this one. I hate to say it. I can't. I'm just the Cowboys over my Giants this week. I'm saying it. And yeah, that's right, Sam. Next game on the schedule, we got the Eagles heading to Tampa Bay, taking on the Bucks.
Man, I don't know because the way Tampa Bay played this past weekend. Oh man. I mean, granted, Philly didn't. I'm picking Tampa Bay. Philly didn't have. I'm not sold on Philly. I really feel like this win against the Saints was kind of like a fluke, and I don't want to call it a fluke. It was just they had the right bodies on the field. They had the right score. Doggone New Orleans defense pretty much like gave up on that play and had that one breakout play for Barkley. I think Baker is going to bounce back from you're doing this on national TV. Then I'm picking what? Then I'm picking the Bucks.
He might be talking about me doing that to my doing this.
You disowning your team. I was like, what I do? Like, I think that this is a pretty decent pick.
He's talking to me.
Picking the damn Cowboys. Oh yeah, he went against he went against his own. Like, I don't care. Hey, look, I don't care who I'm playing. Who I'm playing. I'm picking Green Bay all day. I might sit here and cry a little bit. That's tough for me. But yeah, I have to go with Tampa Bay over. I have to go with Tampa Bay over Philly.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the same because 2 weeks on the road for the Eagles going against the South. I think Tampa Bay is gonna be a little pissed off at home after how they performed last week at home against Denver. I think they're gonna be a little pissed off and being at home and Philly on the road 2 weeks in a row. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna take the Bucks in that one. Next game on the schedule, we got the Vikings. We got Sam Damn Donald, and the Vikings coming to Green Bay, coming to Lambeau Field. Sam.
Oh, I already said it. I ain't gonna say no damn Vikings.
Okay,
that's blasphemy.
Okay, well, I'm just throwing it out there. And look,
hey, look. I said it earlier. We got to continue to play smart ball.
Right.
Defense got to get off the field. They got to contain, and I think our secondary. We got a pretty nice secondary, so I think that it's probably going to have Jahir on Justin because Jahir is that type of player that I want that perennial. Give me that perennial player that you have on your team. Now I can tell you the X factor for this game is going to be Aaron Jones. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because he's coming back. He had like 100-yard game over the weekend. I know he's going to be back in Lambeau, and that's going to be kind of a bittersweet feeling. So. I'm still leaning on Green Bay. Yeah, I'm leaning on them. Green Bay.
I'm gonna give you everything you said, and I agree with 200%. And the one thing that you did say that I think is going to be the difference maker is Jones being back in Lambeau on the other side of the field. I think. I mean, it's a division game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I believe it's going to. It could be even one of those one possession type things, field goal type game. But I'm going to pitch it the other way on this one. Whose ground game is going to be better? I think is going to be the difference, and I think Jones is going to be juiced up and jacked up. And Sam Damn Donald, Lake Minnetonka. I'm riding them I'm getting on the boat with them like they did like 10, 20 years ago when they had the boat ride without the strippers. And I'm going with Minnesota on this. Yeah, I don't know. It's a toss up. Like that one's kind of hard. Like I can't.
It is.
Like I said, I just think it's the running game, and not to say that you guys don't have a good running game. I just think he's going to be jacked. I think he's got, and the whole team's got something to help him prove. Sometimes that motivation just went. So I'm going with that. We got an NFC South matchup: the Saints and the Dirty Birds down in Atlanta.
Oh, man, this is tough because Kirk O'Chains let me down over the weekend.
My man.
But on the flip side, so did Derek Carr. Like once again, that was a very dismal game. Where are they playing at? They playing in Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
I'll pick Falcons.
Yeah, I'm
gonna pick the Falcons. Like I don't know, something just seemed off. With just that whole, how do you go from the offensive scheme you had last week against Dallas to what we saw when they played Philly? I don't know. That's just, it's weird. Or it's weird. Maybe their thing is that they have to sit here and play away in order to get these dubs, but that's still scary too. So I'm gonna pick Atlanta.
I'm with you because I think we have seen the best of Derek Carr. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and I think Mr. Hyde is showing up, and they're on the road in Atlanta. Atlanta doesn't overly impress me, but they do, on all three sides of the ball, they do have talent. They do. It's just about them getting it all together cohesively, and it's something about a division game at home. I'm with you. I'm going to rock with Atlanta on that one. I think it's going to be a close game too, though. Then we go to Indianapolis. We got the Steelers coming to Indianapolis to play the Colts.
I'm picking Steelers. That defense is nasty. It doesn't matter if we're on the turf, on the grass. They're playing smash mouth. Justin Fields is going to continue his strides.
Agreed.
I don't think that Indy's going to have the answers for them, especially on defense. And I'm more nervous about Richardson getting smacked around a couple of times by TJ Watt and company. So I got the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm with you. And you stole my thunder. I was just like, I'm worried about Anthony on this one because he's like in there with Mike Tyson, and I got a feeling he's going to get punched around pretty bad, and it's not going to be pretty at all. So I'm with you. I'm gonna take Pittsburgh in that one. And next game we're going to Soldier Field. We got the Rams coming in taking on overhyped Caleb Williams and the Bears.
I got the Rams. I talked about it at the beginning, like during preseason or whatnot. I was amazed around the weapons that they put around Caleb Williams. And I felt like, hey, this is your sandbox, man. You get to build this and play with it however you want to. But he's really been under delivering, underperforming. Now I think Keenan Allen might be hurt. As far as now they're starting to get these chips, and these are things that we were concerned with anyway, with them getting some of these veteran players. Like you have to deal with some of the elements and how long that they're going to be out. And there's and there's no shade to Chicago, but there's nothing that they've done so far that I'm giving all other NFC North teams their accolades, but I have yet to see something from Chicago to make me have that confidence with them. As far as the Rams, they've been putting in fights with a depleted core because so we were talking about that beforehand. And I just at least if they're going to go down, they're going to go down with a fight. I got the Rams.
I'm taking everything that you said because I am not impressed anything or any way with Caleb Williams. Anything that all of these tools that the Bears put around him, unimpressed. The offense lacks. And if I'll be honest with you, I watched some of the game last week. They look defeated already with him. Like just looking at like the receivers, like when they're taking off their helmets and the way that they're looking at him and the way that they're coming to the sideline, like they just nobody's on the same page in Chicago on offense. So Rams depleted in the whole 9 yards. I'm going with you on the Rams. Then we have I don't even know how to say this. I mean, we got the overrated Bengals and Burrow going to Carolina with the red hot Rocket and Andy Dalton in Carolina.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know. I ain't got no quarter up here. I was going to flip the quarter and kind of decide that fate. I'll say Carolina. They're playing at home. Andy looked like he's having fun. So hopefully he could keep that up. It could go either way. I'm just picking Carolina because they're at home. So to me, that gives them the better percentage of actually winning. And end up being 500 for the season.
So I'm with you. I think being at home, Andy Dalton has given them a new lease on life, at least for the short term. And I think they're going to be jacked to come play. And like I said, playing at home, they're going to have the energy. And I think at the end of the game, they'll be 500 and looking to make some noise in the AFC South. I think it's going to get interesting down there. And you mentioned it next game, which at one point might have been a high game, but Jacksonville's going to Houston. Both teams really have a lot to prove. Jacksonville is definitely overhyped, especially Trevor Lawrence. He's been a hot bucket of mess. Going to Houston really has got something to prove. And I think this is going to be the game because Jacksonville can't stop, like you were said earlier, they can't stop water. So I think this is going to be a reversal, like kind of what Minnesota did to them. I think we're looking at a potential 35-7, type game. And I'm going to take Houston at home.
Yeah, H-Town hold it down. I think they're going to come over here and drag doggone Jacksonville. And I just feel sorry for Trevor Sunshine Lawrence because I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like, I feel bad for my man. You know what I'm saying? Because how you go from being a perennial like playoff contender to what we're seeing on the field for Jacksonville right now.
They just look terrible.
Yeah, so it's nothing.
Nothing. And speaking of nothing, look, they showed up last week though. We talked about the Denver Broncos. They put on a heck of a performance. Bo Nix and Sean Payton got their script together. And look, Bo Nix had a heck of a game with his legs. He had a heck of a game with his arm. He made the passes and made the plays that he needed to for them to win last week. But they're coming to the Meadowlands. They're coming to take on, your former guy, A-Rod and the Jets.
I don't know, because like last week we was like, A-Rod can't throw over 200 yards, and then he come over here and have like 284 yards and 4 touchdowns, and I'm just like, I miss you, man. Like I don't even know what to say. Like maybe we could have gave Jordan Love like 1 more year on the bench or something like that. I don't know. But like it just looked like a totally different team. This one is tough for me too, because like Bo Nix did some things that like you said, we kind of shitted on him last week. So like it's going to be the old seasoned vet against the young gunner. So like which one is going to shine more?
Right.
Ooh. I'm gonna say the Jets.
Yeah. So I'm with you.
Yeah, it could be. This could be another toss-up.
I'm gonna say him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Denver sticks to that type of script, and Bo Nix can continue to be steady.
Yeah,
and make the plays with his arms and his legs and make the reads. It could be a much more competitive game.
Yeah,
but I just on the experience alone, I have to giving it to A-Rod in that aspect, and they're playing at home.
Yeah.
But I think the game is going to be closer than probably we expect.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, even their defense, doggone Denver's defense was like
lights out.
They were nasty too last week too. So yeah, this is I think it's gonna be a close game. Yeah, I'm slightly leaning towards the Jets, but not by much.
We're on the same page with that one. And we got look, I'm not gonna lie. I watched this game last night, and we were going back and forth in the text last night. The Commanders are going to Arizona. Now, I like that shiny new car that they got there in Commodore Land. Like, the kid can ball. I again, very RG3-esque. Think he's got a better arm than RG3.
Oh yeah.
And I like the game plan and how they game plan for him and the reads that he's making. The McLaughlin, the wide receiver. Look, he looked like he a rookie again. Like, he's out there making plays. He's all over the field. Brian Robinson with the running game. The only thing that I put on pause is, like, I just have a problem with, like, teams traversing time zones. Going from extreme east to extreme west, that type of thing. They're in Arizona now. The Cardinals look, like you said so eloquently last week. Kyler Murray's got to take 10 steps, take a 10-step drop just to see over the offensive line.
Yep.
But I don't know why this feels like a trap game to me. Because the Commanders are on a high. You can kind of feel they putting the pieces together. And then here comes Arizona, because they're not completely bums. They've been somewhat competitive. And this just feels like a trap game on the road. But I'm gonna swing with the Commanders on this one. It's gonna be like a field goal type game. I think it's gonna be closer than whatever, because it just feels like a trap to me. But I'm taking the Commanders on the road.
I am going to agree with you. I was thinking the Commanders too. I don't know. I don't even want to put my bias in here. Arizona's just not convincing yet. And there's a certain hurdle that you have to jump across. And I just don't think that you could do that with Kyler Murray. And that wasn't a short joke. I just don't I don't see them. Like, the West is too competitive. We already spoke about that. And like Arizona's they're just like at the bottom. Yeah. I don't think that there's much that they can do they'll look good, but I don't think that they can. The over-end product is going to be the same with them. So,
gotcha. So, speaking of the West, the team that's been kind of the predominant front runner out there, who's been taking a beating this season, the San Francisco 49ers, they're playing at home, and they have the Patriots coming in for a visit. I mean, 49ers just bang the heck up, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think even the helmet coach and the bus driver, I think like all the units is banged up.
Yeah.
But again, though, we have New England coming in that, again, I'm not big fan of east or west type travel, but we don't know what they are still. And we've getting a lot of Jekyll and Hyde from them. And again, I don't want to call it a trap game, but this feels like a setup game, because what does San Francisco really have left in the bag? Like, who else? I mean, we saw Jawan Jennings show up last week. I mean, he had a monster game, like 11 for $170 or whatever. But Kittle's hurt. What's his name? Ayuk hasn't shown up. I mean, like they just so uneven in all the injuries across the defensive side of the ball. My gut tells me to take San Francisco at home. It really, 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 really does. Right. But if I don't know who they got, if they got somebody out there that they just picking up off the street, it's just going to be tough for them to win at this rate. And I'm going to take. This is my upset pick of the week. I'm taking New England on the road in San Francisco.
That is I can't see how you could pick damn New England over San Fran, but you can't pick your Giants over. I was about to say that.
Yeah, I know.
You can't pick your Giants over Dallas. Like, what blasphemy is this?
So first of all.
And look, I get it. I get it that, like, I think San Fran came over here and called up 2 trainers off the practice squad, and I'm talking about trainers to help like tape additional ankles.
For real, for real, bro. Like,
hey, look, I'm picking. I have to go with San Fran. I don't care, even with a beat up team that they have. There's no way that the Patriots are going to come in and get a dub out of that. Okay. Nope.
We're going to put this one on the loop for next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we
can. So staying out west, the Chiefs are going to take on the Chargers, AFC West so-called battle. Yeah, I heard you. I'm going to let you take this one.
Well, there's no reversal of fortune. I'm picking the Chiefs because, like, we were talking about injuries and everything, and the Chargers are beat up too. Yep. And you just can't play Kansas City like that. You can't play Kansas City with a demolished squad and think you're going to get a dub. Now, some things come out through the week, and they just like, oh, hey, such and such is fixed. And Hebert is like treading water. That offensive line cannot block anyone, and Kansas City is going to have a field day with that. Yeah. And like, I'm kind of fearing for him right now for Justin, so he might want to look out. So I'm going Kansas City over the Chargers.
So again, you stole my thunder at the end. I think everything that you said, I agree with, and I for whatever reason, I don't know, is because it's a division game, it's Chargers, whatever. I just feel like this is an explosive type of game for Kansas City. I think this is one of those games where you see a lot of wide receivers get involved. You might see Kittle get involved, tight end. But I just think that this is going to be a one-sided type game, just with all the injuries. And I think Kansas City, that we've seen in the past, shows up this week. So I'm with you. I'm rocking with Kansas City. Staying out west, the Cleveland Browns are taking on the Raiders. And, Antonio Pierce said a lot of guys made business decisions last week and didn't show up. And I'm curious. I would like to be a fly on the wall on what it's going to be like, and it's been like since that loss for the Raiders. But on the other hand, it's Cleveland. Like, it's just murky waters, man, and they just been terrible, like defensively. So I don't know who's going to have the biggest ass chewing, and I think which team takes it the most serious is the team that's going to show up. And at home, Gardner Minshew does not impress me. He makes me nervous a lot. You mentioned that last week as well. But I got to take the Raiders, man. I just think Devontae is ready to have a breakout week. I think their ground game is ready to kind of get on track. And what better way to do it than having Cleveland come to town?
Yeah, I'm picking the Raiders too. I think we're going to get vintage Uncle Rico to come out and do his thing and get that ball to Devontae finally. And you always say never continue to knock a man while he's still down. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the case with Cleveland. They're down and they go to stay down. So I just don't see no change in that. I said it before. I really feel like they need to sit here and do a doggone quarterback change. I'd rather them sit here and focus on Jameis as the number one. Get them in that starting scheme. I know that they restructured Deshaun Watson's contract, but they need to get some of that money back. He is not, rent is due and he is not paying.
He ain't paying at all. He's checked out. Nah. And I agree with you. Time for Jameis famous to get in there and whatever, get them dubs or whatever he was doing.
Yeah, eat them dubs.
Eat them dubs, yeah. Sunday night, we here up in Baltimore. The Ravens, and we didn't talk about this team. The Buffalo Bills, man, been on fire.
Yep.
This whole revamp,
low
key, like real talk. Like this is the first time we even talking about Buffalo whole show. Look, I always thought Josh Allen was overrated, and he's earning his money this year. He's been on fire. I think he had 4 touchdowns the other day. I mean, Buffalo is just they just mowing through the games that are on the schedule, but they're coming to Baltimore. We have potentially what I think is what the Ravens are supposed to look like if they stay with the plan of Derrick Henry running the ball. And we talk about no top speed, but still, once he breaks that front four, he's still a man. I mean, this man is a man's man, and he's looking to hit somebody. And being that it's in Baltimore, and Baltimore's finally got a taste for 2024, I think they're going to keep rolling. I think this is where Buffalo hits a bump in the road. And I'm going with Baltimore at home Sunday night.
this game can actually go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and that's tough. Baltimore been playing good on the road as well as at home. But I think that Buffalo on the flip side is still pissy of that game one. Like I think they're angry right now. They're playing angry ball from game one against KC. So I think that they're going to continue that. So I'm gonna be the opposite. I am going Buffalo at M&T Bank Stadium Sunday night.
Okay, I like that one. And we've got really two teams that one team that had high hopes, and another that had Will Levis. The Titans are taking on the Dolphins down at Hard Rock.
My God.
So yeah, this is a soup game right here because
Yeah.
it's really a battle and this is when you know it's bad. And I'm just going to say I'm going with Miami at home. I don't know who they got starting, but Tennessee just has no answer to anything.
No.
Zero. And sometimes, look, I'm going to take 2/3. I'm going to take the defense and special teams to outwork all three phases of Tennessee's football team. And this might be one of those field goal type games, like a 9-6 type game. And I'm taking Miami at home.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I'm giving it. Well, I'm giving it to Miami because they're playing Tennessee. So that's the only reason.
Point blank.
Tennessee ain't got nothing going on. So, like I said before, I don't know what made Tennessee say, like, hey, Will Levis, you're our guy. I don't know what made them say that, in the doggone, with the powers that may be. But he is not that guy. And it shows, like, literally. And I think that you can put Miami, you can put anybody in there in the backfield right now. And, as far as like, I don't even, like we said, we don't even know who they're gonna. Is it, like I said, is it going to be Tim Boyle? Is it going to be Skylar Thompson? I haven't like really kept up to date this week as far as like the injury reports and everything. I know like probably tomorrow there'll be more rampant about who's questionable and everything, but Tennessee ain't going to come in there and do anything. You know what I'm saying? They're probably going to get like, I'm pretty sure we could see at least a pick six from Will Levis for a touchdown during this game. I can go ahead and write that in the cards because he's been putting up a lot of pickles near the red zone, giving it to the opposing team. So, like, I see that coming. So
he's been terrible, bro.
Yeah.
And to close it out, second Monday night game, we got the Seahawks and the Lions. Seahawks coming to Detroit. It's an interesting game for me on paper. But it's something. I have to be honest, there's something about Seattle I just can't put my finger on. Like, I want to like them. I want to say they have talent.
However,
it's Seattle. I mean,
it's
Geno and outside of Metcalf and their running back, what's his name? Walker, not Walker. Yeah, Walker. I think he got hurt the oblique. Charbonnet, whatever his name, really didn't have a great game last week. Just being at home in Detroit, the way Detroit opened up the season, man, they just been muscling everybody. It's like old. When they want to punch you in the mouth, they just punch you in the mouth. And they at home. I'm going with Detroit. They're gonna punch Seattle in the mouth at home. Detroit.
Hey, look, I understand and disagree with your logic at the same time. Because just as much as Detroit been punching people in the mouth, Seattle been playing some smash mouth too on both sides, and they've been getting DK Metcalf the doggone ball too.
They have.
And like Detroit's been struggling against certain teams as well too. So you got a 3-0 team and a 2-1 team. I don't think it's going to be easy. It might come down to a field goal, but I hate Detroit, so let's just put it out there. Like I'm NFC North when we look at it. Like, and don't get me wrong, I do give credit where credit's due, just not tonight. and not on Monday night. So I got the Lions over. I got the Lions losing to Seattle. Yeah.
Okay. We'll put that one on the loop. We'll see how that one turns out. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have fun. I enjoyed you. I see folks in the weeds. Feel free to drop comments when you're ready. Not just come back, join us next week. We here for it. We have fun. Any closing thoughts or comments from you, Sam, before we go?
Hey, look, for me, it's always a glorious week to get my week started when the Cowboys take an L. So, I have an early Friday. I have an early 3-day weekend happening. So, G-Man, don't let me down. All right.
Okay. Well, it's on loop. I'll make sure I put it on tape. And we're going to come back. We'll talk about Seattle and a few other things. We'll make sure we have it on tape.
Gotcha.
I appreciate you, man. And Cliff, man, we appreciate you too, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Our thoughts and prayers are with you. Sending love to you and the family. And thank you for joining us tonight. And before I get out of here, I just want to say you can catch me tomorrow night. I'll be back tomorrow night live. I'll be sitting down with actress, comedian, writer, Rashida Crockett, going back home to my roots, my stomping ground. She's from Long Island. She's doing funny things. You've seen her in Bigger, and she's written for several other shows. And I'm just nervous. She's a comedian, so anything can break wild, anything can break full. But looking forward to rocking with Rashida. You know what I'm saying? Right. We're going to try to keep it 100, tomorrow night, have a good time. So come through if you have nothing to do. I'd love to see you. And don't forget, Friday, you can catch a Two Mics Up Business Corner. I'm sitting down, man. I'm talking with Wayne Schwarthout. We're talking about cybersecurity. We're talking about the meta wars and the metaverse. Very interesting conversation for those of you who are curious about meta wars and what the metaverse is. And he's really interesting gentleman, and we had a really interesting time talking. So I thank you. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. From both Sam and I, going to leave you with 3 things that we'd like to do at the close of each and every show. May you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out.